Simulcast is still trying to get me up. Meanwhile, Mazz Murray, how you guys doing?
Good, you?
Good, Mike. Hi.
What was your takeaway from that game last night, Mazz?
I was going to have Murray go first. Go.
All right, look, at least they were interesting for the first time in over a month. That was good. But I have a bunch of takeaways. My main one, though, is that I thought it was a tough night for the Mac Jones people, the dyed-in-the-wool Mac Jones defenders that talk about him as a potential borderline franchise quarterback and that Zappe's total trash. Anytime, even during this terrible year for Mac Jones, people still want to, defend Mac and take shots at Bailey Zappe. Just take the L finally, please. Last night is it. That's it. They both probably stink, but if I had to take one going forward to be a bridge guy for this team, simply a bridge guy, it's Bailey Zappe. It looked pretty good there for a while last night, at least in that first half last night. All of a sudden, Juju Smith-Schuster, the knee healed. Hunter Henry looked good for the first time in a while. Ezekiel Elliott looked like he was 10 years younger. There was just more oomph with the offense. It looked better. And so the black and white differential between the two that's being sold, it's trash. If you just need one of these guys as a bridge guy going forward, you still need to draft someone. These guys are just meh, but between the two of them, it's Zappe. And it's more maybe a statement about Mac Jones than Zappe. Anyone who ever thought about him as a top 10 quarterback or a franchise quarterback, you need your head examined. And not to mention last night, too, just he's out there with less than what Mac Jones has had to work with before. He doesn't have DeMario Douglas, no Devontae Parker, no Kendrick Bourne. I just asked Maz before the show started, did Trent Brown even play? You said, what, it was 34 snaps?
It was.
I don't remember even seeing him last night. He had less than nothing, and that was the game of the year for a quarterback for the Patriots. So just for a bridge guy, take the L. It's not Mac Jones. Bailey Zappe is your bridge guy going forward.
So look, any win's a good win at the end of the day. And I'll say in this particular case, given the way they were reeling, given the way that the entire credibility of the organization was at stake, it was a good performance. I will tip my cap to them on that. However, I will also say that this was shooting fish in a barrel for the Bill Belichick Patriots because nothing cures them like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing cures them like the Steelers. Last year, Mac Jones at quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback for the Steelers. They beat him by 3. Belichick, they gave this stat at the beginning of the show last night or at the beginning of the broadcast, 9-3 against Tomlin in his career. Belichick defending Mitchell Trubisky is a massive mismatch. And on the flip side of it, the Patriots attacking that defense, even without Tom Brady, they know exactly what Pittsburgh's going to do. Herb Street said it over and over again during the broadcast about putting the linebackers into coverage. I thought the Patriots exploited that. If they needed a get-well opponent, and when I say get-well, just even if it's for a 24 hours, okay? If they needed to play a team that they would be able to prepare for and execute against, Pittsburgh was it.
So that is something we did forget. That's a good matchup for Belichick. It just is. And there's something about Pittsburgh, through all the years that I be a Steeler fan today, Felger. I got plenty of that. For all the benefit that we can give the Steelers and all the benefits that come from being consistent and doing what they do, that's always, Maz, been kind of easy pickings for Bill. Oh, they just do what they do? And are they still just doing what they're doing? As you just said, is it as simple as throwing on their linebackers?
Yes.
They don't adjust, so you can just pick them apart with the tight end? Is it simple as that?
Yep. And
it's boy, that's kind of easy. You guys want to maybe think of changing that up against Belichick from time to time? 14-4, Belichick. 14-4 in his Patriots career against the Steelers. So, we were sort of forgetful of that. But the takeaway, Murray. Your takeaway is the takeaway. This should have been a competition between Bailey Zappe and Mac Jones. It should have been.
I'll let you know when there's going to be a quarterback competition, Mike.
I'll take Bedard's word at it that there wasn't.
No, I know.
I get that.
It's ridiculous that we never got one, though. Go ahead, sorry.
It's ridiculous we didn't get one. There should have been. And this isn't a second guess.
I will tell you when there's a competition.
Thank you. This is obviously not a second guess on our part anyway. We said it in real time. Mac Jones should have been put on notice after last year. He should have been challenged, and he should be challenged by Zappe because Zappe won his 2 starts. He showed enough that at least you press Mac Jones with Bailey Zappe in camp from day one, and they didn't do it. And they didn't do it, Murray, for the wrong reason. They did it for the wrong reason, which is what? He's our first-round pick.
Yeah.
He's someone that the organization stand behind. The owner likes him. You name it. Whatever it is, it's the wrong reason. And in real time, we didn't like it. In real time, it's like, what? You're the Patriots. Since when do you not have competition at any position, never mind this position? And so they blew it. They blew it on the quarterback thing, which at no point did I just say there that Bailey Zappe's great?
Nope.
Did I just say there that if Bailey Zappe's a starting quarterback, they're somehow like leading the division or something? Did I say that?
Nope.
All I said was there should have been a competition, and that is not a second guess. And that is absolutely, you should be annoyed by that as a Patriots fan. The gap between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappe is not that great. It never was. And, you know, for you, for the team not to, you know, so here's another reason. Well, Bailey Zappe doesn't work well with the new system. Well, you see, Felger, you know, I'll get all these football geniuses. You see, Felger, the system last year with Patricia was dumbed down for Bailey Zappe, who ran the air raid in college. And you see that was the system. This system with Bill O'Brien, well, you see, he can't run this system. Well, then here's an idea. The guy that went 2-0 and showed you a spark last year, when he's in there, why don't you tailor a few things to what he does well? And have a real competition and do what you would do at any other position. They butchered this. They butchered this, Mazz.
Oh, there's no question. Look, again, and for it to take this long to get to Zappe in the season is also a massive mistake. They pulled Jones 4 times. We touched on this, a week ago, and the fact of the matter is, even last week was ridiculously late. This should have happened in the middle of the season. Now you're already into week 13, for crying out loud. It should have happened at about week 8. And I'd have to go back and look at the actual game breakdown. You get the idea. But there were plenty of opportunities to give Bailey Zappe a look, and he didn't. So, and this one, again, last night was a layup on multiple levels. But, Mike, they've been botching the quarterback thing for 4 years.
I mean, come on. Mac Jones does what he does last year. Bailey Zappe wins his 2 starts. And you come into camp and it's like, nope, no competition.
Just because Joe Murray goes down on one day and thinks there's a quarterback competition, that doesn't mean it's true.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
So we're not making this a bedard. We're not blowing it. I'm not blowing anyone. I did my blowing last week.
I will tell you when there's a competition.
No, this is not. I swear, I'm not blowing. That's not what that is. I'm talking to the team. I'm talking to the team. What was your motivation? What was the motivation in camp? Not to throw it open to these guys. And not to push Mac Jones with Bailey Zappe. Like, you would do that. Like, that's what you do. You put players on notice. You make them uncomfortable. You play up their backup. This is what you do. This is what you are. And when you get to Mac Jones, who had a horrible year last year and carried himself the way that he carried himself, you come into this year and say, no, it's your job. No competition.
No, and they definitely did it because of where he was drafted and the owner backed him and all of that. It's all the wrong reasons, like I said.
So those are our opening takes. This is still an agenda-free Friday. So
I will tell you when there's a competition.
That's Jimmy Stewart, Greg. That is not yours truly. I'm not hitting any buttons.
I'm not scared of Greg. Bring it, Greg.
I know you're not. I'm just letting people know.
It's not me. I'm not doing it. Of course everybody knows that I play the sound on this show.
Just in case they didn't. 617-779-0985. As we like to do on Fridays, we go to phones. Matt in Framingham, lead us off.
Michael, that thing last night was incredibly frustrating in a victory, and I'll tell you why. All Belichick had to do was come out in August and say, we're going to let the 2 quarterbacks decide it. Instead, he turned it into a giant childish pitching contest between him and Kraft. That is why we're at the point where we are, where they're playing meaningless games in December, and another reason why Belichick needs to go after the season.
Yeah, why do you think, gentlemen, why do you think Bill played Mac Jones as long as he did? And it took so long to do this.
Well, look, again, if we're going to get on this road, we have to leave open the possibility that it was a Kraft mandate and not a Bill mandate. So, Kraft might have been the one pushing for it, in which case, shame on Robert Kraft.
And if it wasn't that, spite. Like, he knows he sucks, and so I'm just going to keep throwing him out there, too. Like, I think didn't that feel that way? Like, when, how many times, especially after the game in Germany, it felt like, well, he's done. And then he's back out there. It's like, what are you doing? Like, he needs to be shut down. And it felt, look, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I wouldn't put this past Bill Belichick and how he's handled these situations before. The guy can be spiteful. He was probably like, oh, F you, you're going back out there.
So whatever it was the wrong reason. I can't tell you exactly. Was he doing it to spite Kraft? Was he doing it to spite Mac Jones? Was he doing it to prove a point? Was he doing it to, who knows? It wasn't the right reason. The right reason, the thing to do is to have a competition and to have one player push another, especially an unproven young player. Since when does Bill not put pressure on a unproven young player and sit him? He's one of Bill's receivers puts a ball on the ground, he benches him. And Mac Jones, game after game. How many times has Mac Jones been benched this year? Is it 4?
4 times.
4.
Pick six after pick six. Interception after interception. He keeps throwing him back out there. Why? To me, it was a non-football reason. It was like a Bill reason. And all the more reason to be frustrated and to be done with Bill Belichick, even in victory. Because this just sort of drives it home. That should have been the Zappe Mac Jones thing, should have been a back and forth from day one. And by the way, for the record, I still think Mac Jones is probably better. I just didn't think he was that much better. He's not that much better. He might not even be better. I might be wrong about that. But he's young. He's proving himself. I'm talking about Mac Jones. And he's close enough to his backup that shouldn't have gone down, how that went down. And you just keep throwing him out there for him to puke on himself and puke on himself and puke on himself? That's a freaking joke. So I don't know. That's just glaringly my takeaway. Meanwhile, they won. Mazz, you bet the under?
I did. Yeah, that went up in smoke.
Yeah, that went up in smoke in like 10 minutes.
I knew right away.
Yeah,
I said,
right,
this is going to be a freaking, this is pulled pork tonight. That's what that is.
Al Michaels is unbelievable. He must be a chronic over-under better. Because he's constantly...
That's always what he's talking about during these games.
Yeah, it's great.
He's like, but before gambling became legal, you talk about it, you always knew because on the broadcast, he would say like, well, this one's over.